Hey kids! Today I've got another exciting animal story for you. Let's get reading. So, kids, our story for today is called Tsuro and the Harvest Party. Say it with me: Tsuro and the Harvest Party. Okay, let's start our story, kids. All over Africa, there are many trees, plants, fields, and forests on which different kinds of fruits, crops, and vegetables grow. Many kinds of fruits and vegetables, kids. Many crops in Africa. There is a time when the rain falls and the plants and trees grow and make fruit. This is called the rainy season. When the plants finish making the fruits, the crops and vegetables, it is time to gather them all or harvest. This is called the harvest season. It was such a season in the jungle of the African country called Tanzania. Say it with me, kids. Tanzania. As all Africans know, harvest time means party time because there will be plenty of food, running in the fields and forests, working together to gather food, and many fun days and nights. Our little rabbit friend called Tsuro was there in Tanzania that harvest season. He was still a very small rabbit that time, but he was still very clever and naughty as well. Everyone thought that Zuro was the cutest rabbit they had in the jungle, but they also knew that he was the naughtiest, kids. The animals were very busy that season because the food was plenty. So, the animals were put in groups and were given chores to do to harvest the food. Because our little Tsuro was small, he was given the task of bringing water to drink for the other big animals that were gathering the food. Tsuro was not happy at all about this, kids. He did not understand why baby and children animals had to do some work as well. All he wanted to do was play. He begged his mommy to let him play, but she said, "Tsuro, my baby, here in Africa, everyone does their part for all of us." Little Tsuro saw that indeed everyone was working, including other animal babies and children, but he still was not happy. Nevertheless, he started his task of fetching water and bringing it to the gathering animals. However, on his way to fetch the water, Tsuro met his favorite cousin called Nono, kids. "Tsuro!" Nono screamed with excitement when she saw Tsuro. "Nono!" Tsuro also screamed at the same time. The two cousins were very happy to see each other and hugged. "Tsuro, where are you going with that calabash?" Nono asked Tsuro. "I'm going to fetch this stupid water for this stupid harvest," Tsuro complained to Nono. "Oh," said Nono angrily. "Are your parents making you do that too? Mine are making me carry stupid water too, and I hate it." "Me too," said Tsuro. "Kids must be allowed to play whenever they want." "Oh, I have an idea," said Tsuro with excitement. Why can't you and I go out into the jungle where no one can see us and play? Then, at the end of the day, we will go home and say that we did our work. Nono was very happy to hear Tsuro's idea. So the two rabbits went deep into the jungle to play. Tsuro and Nono had so much fun in the jungle, kids. They played tag, hide and seek, and Tsuro. They were glad they decided to play instead of fetching water. However, they became hungry and thirsty in the afternoon. They could not go home because no one was there. Everyone was working, gathering food. Nono started to cry. Oh, oh. Tsuro started to panic and worry when he saw Nono crying. Don't cry, Nono, he said to her, but Nono kept crying. Oh, I want to go to my mommy, Nono said. But Tsuro was afraid of being punished for not fetching water and going to play instead. He thought very hard and came up with an idea. Listen to me, Nono, he said. I know how we can get some food and water. Nono stopped crying and asked Tsuro. How? She said. All the big animals are gathering food, right? Yes, Nono replied. Well, I know where they are keeping it all. They also have water there. We can go and take some, and we will not be hungry. Yippee! Nono cheered when she heard this. She too did not want to get punished for disobeying her parents. But Zuro, she said, how will we get to the food? You know that Babu the baboon is keeping watch over the food. Will he not see us and report us to our parents? Nono asked Tsuro. Little Tsuro thought for a moment, then said, I know what we will do, Nono. Babu the silly old baboon is the one guarding the food and water. I know how to get past him because I am smarter than him. We will be very quiet and careful. I will teach you what I do every time I sneak. Nono was very happy to hear this, kids. So the two cousins then agreed and went over to the cave where the animals were keeping the gathered food. When they arrived, they stood in the bushes and saw Babu the baboon sitting outside the cave. Poor old Babu was fast asleep, kids. Tsuro was happy to see this. Now, listen very carefully, Nono, Tsuro whispered. Babu is asleep, so we have to sneak and tiptoe around him to get to the food and to get to the water. I have a clever way of sneaking. In order to do it, you have to follow what I will do carefully. Otherwise, silly old Babu will wake up and catch us. Okay, Nono replied with excitement. Very well, said Tsuro. He then came out of the bush and started. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 When he said, I tip, Tsuro would carefully and softly put one leg forward. When he said, I toe, he would put the other leg forward carefully and softly. When he said, I listen, he would wait to hear and see if Babu was still sleeping. Then he would start again. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 Finally, Zuro went into the cave. When he arrived in the cave, Tsuro started taking some food. He started, I take, listen. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. When he said, I take, he would carefully take a fruit or crop and tuck it under his arm. When he said, I listen, he would listen to see and hear if Babu was still sleeping. When he was sure Babu was still sleeping, he would start again. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. Finally, Tsuro got the food he wanted. Then he started going to the big calabash full of water to fill his small calabash. He started again. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 When he got to the water calabash, he started. I open, I listen. I open, I listen. I open, I listen. I open, I listen. As carefully as before, when he would say, I open, Tsuro opened the water calabash quietly so that Babu would not hear him and wake up. Then he started to pour water into his own calabash. I pour, I listen. I pour, I listen. I pour, I listen. I pour, I listen. When he said, I pour, Tsuro pushed the big water calabash carefully and poured the water into his small calabash slowly so that Babu would not wake up. He listened too for any noise. When he was done, he started going back. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 Tsuro finally reached Nono with food and water, kids. Babu did not even wake up. Tsuro was excited and Nono was happy. It's my turn, she said with excitement. Tsuro told her to be careful and she agreed. Then she started going to the cave. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 Nono was a clever little rabbit, kids, just like Zuro. And so she was very quiet and careful, just like Zuro. She tiptoed until she reached the cave. Clever little Nono reached the cave without waking Babu up, kids. Then she started taking some food. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. I take, I listen. She did it so quietly and got some food. Then she started going to the water calabash. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 She tiptoed quietly to the water calabash and did not wake Babu. Then she poured. I pour, I listen. I pour, I listen. I pour, I listen. I pour, I listen. She poured quietly. When she was done, little Nono started going back to Tsuro. I tip, I toe, I listen. 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 She reached Tsuro without waking Babu. The two little rabbits were very happy and they went back to play, eat, and drink their water, kids. When the sun was going down and the big animals were returning from gathering the food, the two little rabbits went home too. When their parents asked them if they fetched water for the big animals, the two rabbits said yes. They did not say what they were really doing, kids. The following day, Tsuro and Nono met again and ran away to play in the jungle. In the afternoon, they went to sneak and take food and water at the cave when Babu was sleeping. After that, they went back to play. Later on, they went home and told their parents that they had done their duties again, kids. This happened for a few days until the day Babu went to report something to the elders.
My elders, Babu said, I have come to tell you something that I have been noticing over the past few days. I have seen that someone is stealing our food and someone is drinking our water.
When the animals heard this, they were very angry, kids. What more, they had been working hard to gather and harvest that food. Some animals also complained because they worked hard to collect that food and they did not receive any water on some days. This made animals even more angry. What shall we do? They asked each other.
I have a plan, Babu told the animals, but I will not tell anyone about it. I just promise you that we will catch the thief.
The animals were glad to hear this. They went to work. Now, if you cut the bark of many African trees, they produce a very sticky liquid called resin. Babu went to collect this and he smeared it all over the water calabash. Then he went to sit outside the cave and soon he was fast asleep, kids. In the afternoon, as usual, little Tsuro and Nono arrived to take some food and drink some water. Tsuro went first, tiptoeing as usual. He went past Babu and took some food. Then he tiptoed to the water calabash and started. I pour, I listen, I pour. Little Tsuro could not complete his song, kids. When he said, I pour, he had put his one hand on the water calabash and it got stuck. Tsuro tried to pull his hand away, but it was stuck, kids. Poor old Tsuro started to panic. He tried to push away the water pot with his feet, but they got stuck too, kids. Tsuro tried to use his other hand to free himself, but it too got stuck. When Nono saw Tsuro struggling, she also tiptoed to him. What is wrong? She whispered. I'm stuck, Tsuro whispered back. Help me. Tsuro tried to push the calabash away from Tsuro, kids, but she got stuck too. The two little rabbits struggled until they were tired and stuck on the calabash. Nono wanted to cry, but she was too afraid of Babu. They fell asleep on the calabash. When they woke up, they found Babu sitting nearby, wide awake. Nono was so scared that she started to cry. Ah! She was surprised when Tsuro started crying too, kids. Babu laughed at them.
Zuro, he said, I should have known that it was you, little naughty rabbit, who was not fetching water to the big animals and who was stealing the food and water. Your parents are going to be very angry, and you, Nono, you will be in a lot of trouble for following Zuro around.
What? cried Nono. I'm sorry, Uncle Babu, cried Tsuro. Please forgive us. Yes, cried Nono. Please, we will not do it again.
Not so fast, said Babu. You need to understand why it is important for all of us to work together and do our part. You did not do your part of fetching water. Because of that, a lot of animals got tired and could not finish gathering in time for the harvest party. You also ate the food and water they collected. And because of that, the food will not be enough for the harvest party. You also lied to your parents and could have been hurt all by yourselves in the jungle. So you see, a lot of things which are bad have happened because you refused to do your part. The harvest party will not be done tomorrow like everyone had planned.
We are very sorry, the two rabbits cried.
I'm sure you are, said Babu. But because in Africa we are a community, you must apologize to everyone.
Tsuro and Nono promised that they would apologize, kids, and do everything to make things right. So Babu helped them to unstick from the calabash. The rabbits apologized to everyone and did their chores and more. Finally, the day of the party arrived and everyone finally celebrated. Yay! Tsuro learned his lesson not to lie anymore and not to abandon his duties. Bye!